According to Fox News, Assemblyman Alex Lee, a progressive Democrat, which is redundant in California, last week introduced a bill in the California state legislature that would impose an extra annual 1.5% tax on those with a worldwide net worth above 1 billion, starting as early as January 2024. As early as 2026, the threshold for being taxed will drop. Those with a worldwide net worth exceeding 50 million would be hit with a 1% annual tax on wealth, while billionaires would still be taxed at 1.5%. Worldwide wealth extends beyond annual income to include diverse holdings such as farm assets, arts, other collectibles, stocks, and hedge fund interest. Joining me to discuss this, Stephen Moore, economist with the Heritage Foundation. Steve, what are they going to tax next?
Well, California has taxed just about everything else, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised that they want to now go after people's wealth. And don't forget that there are several bills that are even worse than the one that you just mentioned that would actually have what they call a clawback. So that let's say you lived in California and you made some money there, and then you moved, let's say, to Florida. They want to reach in your pocket all the way across the country into Florida and take the money from you. So these are comical ideas. You know, we already have a death tax in a wealth tax in many states called the death tax. It doesn't raise any money because guess what? People don't die in the states with high death tax. And I guarantee you people aren't going to, as soon as they get wealthy, what are they going to do? They're going to get on that plane. They're going to move to Texas or Florida or Tennessee or some state that doesn't have it. It's an immoral tax. California, as you know, Larry, I've heard you talk about these statistics. The top 1% already pay almost half the taxes. Right. I mean, come on, what are you going to do? Have the top 1% pay 80% of the taxes? They won't be there anymore.
Steve, hasn't this wealth tax been tried in Europe and didn't it fail?
Well, we have the wealth tax. Yes, definitely. France tried that, remember? This was a number of years ago, and they had to repeal it because so many French citizens of wealth gave up their French citizenship and they moved to other countries in Europe. So they actually end up, are you ready for this, Larry? They lost revenue because of that tax. But also, as I was just saying, we have wealth taxes in the United States called death taxes. They don't raise much money because people move out before they die to places where there's no death tax. And when they move, they take their businesses, they take their families, they take their employees out of the state. So this is a really bad idea. Incidentally, you know where a wealth tax was first discussed?
I give up.
Karl Marx in the Communist Manifesto.
Wow. Now, Steve, how do you
that one, Larry?
how do you determine what somebody's worldwide net worth even is?
Oh God. Well, that's the other thing. It's going to be the battle of the tax accountants, right? So you're going to have Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and Zuckerberg with their army of lawyers and tax accountants against the government's lawyers and accountants. By the way, who are you going to bet on that one? I think billionaires are going to have better lawyers than the government does. So it's a question I can't answer. How are you going to figure out what their wealth is? And another thing, it's not just one-time wealth tax. They're going to tax it year after year after year after year after year. So you might think, oh, well, 1.5%, that's not so much. But after 10 years, it's like 20% because it accumulates year after year. Who's going to stay? Who's going to stay in California? I know people, by the way, who had gorgeous houses. Some of the most beautiful real estate in the world, of course, is in California, in Laguna Beach and places like that. People sold those beautiful homes and they're moving to like Texas to avoid these taxes.
Steve, just a few months ago, Governor Newsom was bragging that he had a $100 billion surplus. Now it's a $25 billion deficit. What happened?
You know, everybody knows the answer to that. You know, you're getting more and more people leaving the state who are the taxpayers of the state. I mean, everywhere that I go, I travel all around this great country of ours. You know what I see everywhere I go? California license plates. You know, people who've moved out. But the other thing that happened is how many times do we have to rinse and repeat this pattern where California, has some good years and they have massive amounts of revenues that come in from capital gains tax and so on. And then they spend it. And then as soon as times fall on hard times, they have these massive deficits. So it's this roller coaster ride of feast or famine. Don't you think maybe they might figure out the next time they have some good years, maybe they could squirrel it away for a rainy day. They never do that.
You know, when I was running for governor, I had a briefing on the California budget, all the unfunded pension liabilities. I forget how much it was, maybe half a trillion dollars or more.
Oh,
And I
I think
said,
it's higher than that. Yeah.
I think so. And I said, this isn't a budget. This is a crime scene.
It is, and that's another thing. Last year when they had $100 billion surplus, what did the governor Newsom do? He just passed out the free money to people, and maybe they could have used some of that money to reduce these unfunded liabilities in the pension system. That's the other reason people are getting out of Dodge, out of California, because do you want to move to a state that has essentially $1 trillion, close to $1 trillion unfunded liability? You're going to have to pay for government services that were given to people 25 years ago.
Can anything be done, by the way, about these unfunded pension liabilities, whether California,
Yeah.
I think Illinois is almost as bad. Can anything be done?
Yeah. I would tax the pensions, because these pensions are so much higher than what private sector workers get in the public sector. I would have, you've known me a long time, Larry. I'm against taxes, but I think we should tax those pensions because they're getting a premium on them that is paid for by the taxpayers. The other thing you've got to do is at some point, these cannot be, look, if you continue with these pensions, you're not going to have any money left over for fire service, for hospitals, right, for the courts, for your police, your schools. All the money is going to go to pensions. So you have to claw back some of that money that has been promised to these public employees. Incidentally, a lot of them don't even live in the state anymore. So you're sending your money out of state. They're not even spending it in California.
Finally, Steve, is it even legal to tax you after you've left the state? Is that lawful?
No way. No way. It's not legal to do that. Well, you talking about with respect to these wealth taxes?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't do that. That violates the Commerce Clause. This is how desperate they are for money. They're willing to challenge the Constitution but you can't. No, that would be ridiculous. That would be like if you step foot in the state of California, then they're going to tax you for the day that you were in the state. This is a absolute violation of the Constitution. It's going to be swatted down. I feel even if Biden puts 4 more justices on the court, God forbid, they're not going to be able to get that through the courts.
And the Democrats didn't consult with a constitutional lawyer before they proposed this.
No, Larry, you think they care? They don't care about the Constitution.
What is that? The Constitution? We don't need no stinking Constitution.
Yeah, I mean, you got a big court case coming up next week where Biden is basically wants to do the student loan bailouts unilaterally without going through Congress. Now, you've read the Constitution. I've read the Constitution. It says that spending bills have to pass Congress. The president doesn't have the authority to spend money, and he's just asserting that. That should be thrown out too. I mean, the Constitution is there to protect us from these kinds of whimsical ideas of politicians that would bankrupt our states and bankrupt our country.
Well, I don't think they've read it. Maybe they're waiting for the movie. Stephen Moore, Heritage Foundation. Thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate it. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Larry.
In my baby brown libertarian fingers, I'm holding a pair of MyPillow My Slippers. These are so comfortable, you're going to want to own a pair yourself. They come in different colors. They also come in different styles. Also, this is the MyPillow. There's now a MyPillow 2.0. Call the number on your screen or go to mypillow.com, promo code ELDER. That's mypillow.com, promo code ELDER. You're going to find over 100 products, including the 6-pack towels that work. And the reason they're called towels that work is because they absorb, water. Isn't that what towels are supposed to do? A lot of times you go to the store, they look fine, they feel fine. They don't absorb because of the chemicals they put in the towels. These actually work. They come in different colors, of course. And then finally, we've got the Giza Dream Bedsheet. Giza is an area in Egypt where the finest cotton is grown. Mike Lindell scoured the world to find where the finest cotton is grown, and he found it right in Egypt. Different colors. Mine is white because, after all, I am the black face of white supremacy, but you're not. So they come in different colors. They come in different sizes because Guess what? Beds come in different sizes. So call the number on your screen. Again, over 100 products. Or go to mypillow.com, promo code ELDER. That's mypillow.com, promo code ELDER.